Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we are diving into the world of system design interviews. Those challenging, thought-provoking discussions where you're asked to design something like social media platform or ride-sharing device or even a URL shortener. Think of it as telling the story of how you would build a complete system from the ground up. So today we will talk about what happens in the system design interviews and what should you do basically. We will go through this journey together. So the first thing that we need to talk about is to setting the stage. And yeah, so let's make a system design interview overview. So in system design interview, you are typically not required to write code. There is no code in this interview. Instead, your goal is to walk the interviewer through your thought process and basically how you would tackle a real world engineering platform, for example. They want to see how you structure your ideas, how you reason about trade-offs, and how you ensure the design meets the business requirements and user demands. Next, we need to talk about asking clarifying questions. So before jumping in the design, you need to always you have to and you need to start by asking questions to clarify the scope. Like, are you designing the entire platform or just key subsystem? What are the scale expectation? Um, are there any specific requirements around data privacy, latency, or feature set? This step is crucial because it sets the boundaries of your design. And I would say, from my opinion, this is the most important step in the system design interview. You have to follow this step and you have to crash this step because if you suck in this step, your interview is done. Next, we need to talk about like defining system constraints. Like once you understand the problem, outline key constraints like storage, for example, like how much data needs to be stored and how quickly can it grow. Throughput and latency. For example, how many requests will the system handle and how fast should it respond? Also, reliability and availability. Like, what happens if a server crashes? Does the system need to have near 100% uptime? Next, we need to talk about outline the architecture. So, um, next, sketch a high level design, a high level architecture. Imagine you are designing, for example, a social media platform. So you have like a client layer, which will like be mobile app or web app, which will call APIs. We have application layer, services handling authentication, user profile, posting content. We have database layer where posts user data and comments are stored. Maybe for a ride sharing service, you maybe have like a map service, real time location tracking, matching drivers with riders, something like that. For a URL shortener, you might have like a minimal service that generates short links and redirects the original URL. Remember to discuss data partitioning, load balancing, and caching strategies with your interviewer. It's something quite important. So first, we started by understanding what's going on. We ask for clarification. We defined the system constraints and we outlined the architecture. Or basically, you can call this one, we established a high level design of the system. Next, we'll try to ensure scalability, performance, and reliability. So let's talk about scalability first. So in scalability, like can the system handle an increase in users or data volumes? Like should we use horizontal scaling, which adding more services, versus vertical scaling, which is to make the service bigger or like improve the service ability to handle more machines? In terms of the performance, how do we minimize request times, like using cache layers like Redis or Memcached? Maybe add some efficient database indexing. In terms of reliability, how do we handle failures in terms of redundancy with multiple servers, failover mechanisms, and backups as well? So next we talk about balancing trade-offs. Like you might trade off consistency for availability or vice versa. Discuss how you would handle these trade-offs, referencing the CAP theorem, for example, which is consistency, availability, and partition tolerance. This demonstrates a critical thinking and a deep understanding of designing principles. Next, we need to talk about time management and communication because it's a pretty important one. And actually, I learned this lesson the hard way because I didn't had a good time management in my system design interview, so I filled in a lot of them. But I succeeded in a lot of them as well. So yeah. So most system design interviews, I guess they are between 45 to 60 minutes. You don't have time to go into every single detail and instead focuses on the core components and highlight any trade-offs. You need to communicate clearly and conclusively, yeah, making sure to check in with the interviewer frequently. Okay, let's make a conclusion. So remember, you're not just designing, you are like narrating your thought process and showing how you problem solve under constraints. Whether you're designing a massive social network or a simple URL shortener, the key is to demonstrate structured thinking, scalability, and reliability constraints. Thanks for watching this video, and yeah. And yeah, that's it for this video, and see you in the future, guys.